English Dream Story. Subscribe now.
The Shoemaker and the Elves. Once upon a time there lived an old shoemaker. He was an honest man but with very limited money. He made really nice shoes, but could not earn enough for himself and his wife. One night he was in his workshop when his wife came to him. She asked him, "What are you doing, dear?" "Shoemaker, I have this last piece of leather left. I'm just cutting it out. We'll make a pair of shoes out of it tomorrow." "Wife, is it the last piece?" "What we will do? There are no grains in the cupboard, no wood for the fire, and now no more leather." "Shoemaker, don't worry, my darling. Something will work out." The old couple finished their housework, and before they went to sleep, the shoemaker put the leather on his workbench. The next morning, he got up early to make a pair of shoes out of the leather he had kept. To his surprise, instead of the leather, there lay a beautiful pair of shoes. He picked them up and observed them closely. They were made out of the same leather that he had put out the night before. He called his wife dear. "Dear, come see this, wife. What a lovely pair of shoes. They are just perfect," she amazed. "Shoemaker, yes, look at the stitches. They are so tiny and placed so perfectly." "But I didn't make them." "Wife, you didn't. Then who did?" "Shoemaker, I don't know. Why someone would help us like this." "Wife, I can't even think of anyone who can make such good shoes. You make the best shoes I have ever seen, and these are better than yours too." "Shoemaker, I agree. Anyway, let us not get carried away. Let us put them in the display window and hope that we can get some money for them." Just a few minutes after the shoemaker had put the shoes on display, a wealthy merchant stopped outside his door. He paid a good sum for the shoes and bought them. The shoemaker was very happy. He went and bought food for the house. With the remaining money, he bought 2 pieces of leather. When it was night, his wife called out to him, "What are you doing? It's time for us to sleep." The shoemaker, "Yes, dear. I am just cutting out these leather pieces so I can stitch them into shoes tomorrow," he replied, and after cutting the leather, they both went to sleep. The next morning, when the shoemaker and his wife came down to the workshop, they were surprised to see 2 new pairs of shoes on the table where he kept the leather pieces. The shoemaker to his wife, "Would you look at that? These shoes are even more beautiful than the first pair. Let me put them for sale and thank whoever's helping us out." Soon after the shoemaker had put up the 2 pairs of shoes for sale, other wealthy men of the town came and bought them. They paid a hefty price for them. The shoemaker bought more food, supplies, and leather from the money he got. Again that night, he cut the leather and kept it to stitch it in the morning.
The next morning he saw the leather had been made into shoes again. And as soon as he put them up for sale, they were bought in exchange for good money. This went on for many days. The shoemaker started doing well. His business prospered, and his shop would always be full of customers. One night, as they were closing the shop, the shoemaker had an idea. He said to his wife, "I cannot stop thinking about those who help us. Why don't we hide behind the cupboard tonight and see who it is?"
Wife,
yes. That's a brilliant idea. Let's hide and check out. And they both hide behind the cupboard. Oh dear goodness! Such kind elves they are. We must repay them. He said to his wife,
Wife, yes.
When you go to the market tomorrow, get me some nice cloth. I will make clothes for our little helpers. The next day, the shoemaker got many fancy clothes and good leather, while his wife made beautiful clothes for the elves. He made soft shoes from them. When night fell, they placed the gifts for the elves on the table. They also laid out delicious food and treats for them. Then they hid behind the cupboard again and waited for the elves to return. When the elves came, they were overjoyed to see the gifts and the delicious foods. They wore their new clothes, ate the stomach full, and went on to make shoes for the shoemaker. Once they have done, they slipped out of the window. "I am so happy to see our little helpers happy," Shoemaker said to his wife.
Wife,
yes. And they looked so wonderful in their new clothes, didn't they? He said to his wife. "Tonight, let's keep some more dinner ready for them. What do you think?" And she agreed.
That night the shoemaker and his wife again kept dinner for the elves.
But
tonight they did not hide behind the cupboard. Instead, they went to sleep.
The next morning,
when they came to the workshop, the shoemaker
and his wife
were disappointed to see that the dinner plates remained untouched. Even the leather that the shoemaker had cut out and put on the table remained as it is.
"I
wonder what happened to them," he said to his wife. She replied, "Maybe they will come tonight." The shoemaker and his wife again kept the food for the elves, but were disappointed in the morning as the elves did not show up in the night. They waited for the elves many nights, but they never returned. "Do you think they overheard us?" her wife asked him. He replied, "Perhaps they did." Elves are very shy creatures. They usually like to be left alone. "Wife, what will happen to the shop now?" The shoemaker, "Oh, it will be fine. I will miss my little helpers, but I will manage." The shoemaker went back to making shoes himself. His shop continued to prosper, but he and his wife always remember the elves and remain thankful for their help. Moral: some people are willing to help but are too shy to take help from others. You can be thankful to them in your heart.